Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, Viola Davis, and Robert De Niro always get recognition for brilliantly playing characters in dramas. But I wanted to give flowers to the comedians that we know and love who haven't gotten the same level of recognition, but display a ton of range in their acting and are arguably just as good. Yes, it takes range for Leonardo DiCaprio to go from playing Frank in Catch Me If You Can to playing William in The Departed. But can we please talk about the range that it takes to go from playing Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, where he is literally having entire scenes talking out of his butt, to playing Joel in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind? I just think that comedians are not recognized for how much range they have. And Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind wasn't even Jim Carrey's only serious role that was impactful. In another movie, he played Truman in a movie called The Truman Show, where he is trying to escape a fake world that was built for him from birth. Y'all, I was crying real tears when Truman was trying to escape his fake reality on his boat, and he was saying and screaming at the top of his lungs, "You're gonna have to unalive me." Like, if you guys have ever been set on escaping something or accomplishing something, even if it means the end, then you know, and this resonated with you too. Going back to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, how about that scene at the very, very end of the movie where they look at each other and they decide that even if it's gonna mean more pain, they want to experience the beauty of their relationship one more time? Y'all, perfect acting from Jim Carrey. Perfect. And it just kind of upsets me because I feel like comedians are never in the conversation about the best actor of all time. And they deserve to be because they're phenomenal in these roles. Let's switch over to another legend, Robin Williams. His role in Good Will Hunting was fantastic. He played the therapist Sean, who was helping Matt Damon's character Will, a mathematical genius, who had a really terrible childhood. At one point in the movie, Sean is talking to Will and trying to help him accept that what he endured in his childhood was not his fault. That scene took so much range to go from being the genie in Aladdin, okay, or Mrs. Doubtfire, okay, or even in the movie Birdcage, which is so good, by the way, to being able to play that role where you are a person that is allowing somebody to unfold all of their trauma and being there for them regardless. Like, let's talk about that range. That is so impressive. And not only are these comedians amazing at doing a fully comedic role and then switching to a fully drama role, but let's talk about the movies that they do that are comedy, but also have elements of drama in them. Okay, y'all, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but let's talk about Scrooged, okay? Let's talk about it. So for those who have not had the privilege of seeing the movie Scrooged yet, it is a reimagining of Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol. You know, we've had plenty of those over time. Anyway, it's about a character named Frank, who is the president of IBC, a television network, and Bill Murray plays Frank, and Frank is ruthless, a lot like Ebenezer Scrooge from A Christmas Carol, if you guys are familiar with the tale. And he has his staff work on Christmas. He has very immoral requests of his staff, and he's extremely apathetic to everyone, even his ex-girlfriend, who he's still in love with, even his assistant, who always thinks of him, even his brother. He's just apathetic and mean to everyone. And just like the Christmas Carol goes, he's visited by 3 ghosts who tell him what his present is, what his future is gonna be, and what his past was, to help him grow a heart and be a better person. I think Scrooged is hilarious, and it has some of the funniest people, some of the funniest cast ever. But that ending scene when Bill Murray talks about giving of yourself and being generous because it gives back to you, it fills your heart too, and everyone should desire to have that feeling. Guys, what are we talking about? This is top-notch acting. They should be in the conversation of best actor, right? It shouldn't just be these drama roles, you know, with Tom Hanks and Leo and Robert De Niro and, you know, all these serious actors. It should be the comedians who we have seen have range in different movies and within the same film. And, that's not to take anything away from our drama actors, okay? Because some of them have comedic range too. Some of them can do dramas and then jump into comedy too. Robert De Niro was hilarious in Analyze This. But I just think we really need to start including our comedians in the conversation about our top 10 actors, because these dudes have range, okay? Even in movies that are completely ridiculous, like Eddie Murphy's The Nutty Professor, require so much acting range and so much talent. The Nutty Professor, for those who don't know, is a movie about a brilliant scientist named Sherman who is ostracized because of his weight. He experiences public humiliation on a date with his coworker at the hands of a young Dave Chappelle, by the way. He is made fun of by his colleagues, his family, and society at large. In an attempt to have a better life, he makes a potion to make himself thin. He inadvertently also releases an alter ego, Buddy Love, who's also played by Eddie Murphy. While Buddy does avenge Sherman, which feels so gratifying, by the way, the scene where Eddie Murphy goes back to the comedy stand-up show and roasts Dave Chappelle, y'all, literal comedy gold. First of all, just seeing Dave Chappelle and Eddie Murphy in the same place, let alone, but also seeing him get revenge on Dave Chappelle for his cruelty, magic. Anyway, the downside to Buddy Love is he has bad character, and Sherman ultimately at the end decides to be himself. Okay, but let's go down the list of why Eddie Murphy gives us so much range in this movie. Number one, there is a scene in this movie where Eddie Murphy literally plays every single person sitting at the table. Okay, this man plays like 6 people. Okay, he plays every single member of the Clump family, which is Sherman's family. And I'm talking about he's playing an elderly woman. He's playing his own mother, his own father, his brother. He's playing Sherman at the table. He is playing literally every single person at the table, okay? It's hard enough to do a skit in general that's funny, but to do a skit by yourself, with the exception of Jada Pinkett and the kid, Jamal Mixon, he is the only person at the table. The range that takes, the acting that takes to portray a character and be funny, some people can't even do one of those things, okay? But he gives us both. Number 2, he portrays the arrogant, self-obsessed Buddy Love. Let me tell you something. Playing a person that is obsessed with himself and funny and larger than life, like that's hard to do, to have that kind of confidence. And then he switches, number 3, right? And plays a shy, sweet, brilliant, insecure Sherman. Like he's doing both of these things at the same time. Number 4, he genuinely gives us drama in this movie. There's so many scenes where Sherman hates himself and is trying so hard to exist in a society that rejects him. And at the end, he gives us even more drama because he makes a speech about being yourself and not allowing society to devalue you. Eddie Murphy did a great job, and he deserves to be a part of the conversation. He's done so much brilliant work and deserves the recognition for his ability to do comedy and to do drama. Another movie that is super funny but has very serious elements is Liar Liar. Liar Liar is about a divorced lawyer who has a son, and he is trying to co-parent while also trying to be super successful, and he often chooses success over his family. Well, his son makes a wish that he can't tell a lie for 24 hours, and that creates a bunch of drama and so much comedy and so much fun. That scene when he is talking to his ex-wife and he is explaining why she needs to forgive him for the 900th time, and he is able to say, without even stuttering, "I'm a bad father." Y'all, tears. Okay? Tears, okay? Put some respect on my guy Jim Carrey's name. He deserves to be in the conversation of top 10 best actors. He has immense range, and he's also a physical comedian. Like, this guy can climb a tree in 10 seconds, okay? But he can also cry on command, and that deserves some recognition. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about this and acknowledge some of the comedians that are doing the amazing work of being able to switch between funny and serious. I would actually throw Adam Sandler out there. That might be an unpopular opinion, but it's how I feel. I've probably watched The Wedding Singer easily 200 times. I feel like it's a perfect breakup movie, I will say that. But I also think that he showed us his range in movies like Spanglish. I know, like I said, Spanglish got some mixed reviews, but frankly, as a woman who grew up in the inner city and then moved to the suburbs, it was extremely relatable to me, extremely. So I really don't know what the pushback on that movie is. And then also in Uncut Gems, I mean, within the first, I don't know, 5 minutes of the film, we're seeing his range. We're seeing him take on this persona of this seedy guy, this guy that we've been watching for years be Billy Madison and play all these silly characters. Even though he's played these iconic, hilarious characters, he's able to quickly switch to a much more serious role. He doesn't get as much recognition as he should for how brilliant he is and how creative he is and how much range he has. So I wanted to put him in there too. I know that I've seen critics give mixed reviews on some of his more serious films. I do not know why, guys. I truly love them, and I think he's a big talent. In the comments below, please give me your favorite comedian-led dramas, or give me your favorite comedies that have a drama element or a serious message behind them. I would love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.